We are live after the. I really got to work on the intro. We are live after India versus New Zealand. India win by 45 runs. What a victory. What a match. What a good time to be alive. And this is something we talked about today morning. How if and when we do come back on the post match, hopefully we are smiling. And we are smiling because India did win the match.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you guys so much for joining us on a Sunday night. I'm glad to the BCCI that they keep this on the weekends because then we have people watching our live.
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys have joined us already. Hi Default, hi Elora, that's a name. Hi Zappy, hi Keshav, hi Vishwanath, and hi Shrikant was also here. Well, intros are tough. I should know. Thanks, man. I mean, I don't know why it's a thing, but yes, it is something we will talk about, not the intro itself, but the team selection and all of that. But if you guys are joining us for the first time, or if you guys have just joined, hit that like button, because if you do like our stream, YouTube pushes our live to more and more people. You can see we are close to 25,000 subscribers. Hi Morax. And we would want most of them to join our live. It's just that Sanket lifts objects. Hi Erin. Hi Erin.
Long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hello. It's nice to see Mickey, Ninad. What do you guys think about the pitch in the second innings? We will talk about
to all of this.
everything. So again, if you guys are joining us for the first time, I want you guys to do a couple of things. Hit that like button on our live. Second, listen. And that is, we'll have a lot of segments where we do talk about what went right with the Indian team, what went wrong with the Indian team. We will talk about conditions. We will talk about some things we got wrong from our pre-match itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the stream people, hey, thanks, Default, Kaustubh, and Akshara. Prakya. Hello. Is that two people, three
A lot
people?
of new names today, which is nice to see.
A lot of new names, a lot of... It's great to see. We do this every pre and post match now for every India international game. So we will see you guys in the next semis. But before that, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
We also have an announcement which we did make in the pre-match, which we will also do now.
Yeah.
I'll do it now regardless. So we have a WhatsApp channel link in our description. So if you guys want to be part of our channel, WhatsApp channel group, go to our description, join the channel, follow our channel, I guess. This is how we are starting off with our channel. Hopefully we grow the community to a larger extent where we make a whole either Discord or something else where we can all talk to each other. For now, it's only
One-way
polls and all
communication,
of that,
yeah.
and us talking about stuff.
Yeah.
But this is just a start. 41 odd people, I think 45 odd people joined us from today morning.
Yep.
If you guys can join, if you guys want to join, if you have friends who would like to join, you can do that too. There have already been a lot of updates. But yes, yeah, Anmol, love the content. Thanks. Shrikant, hey Mickey, hey Anmol, I didn't dismiss what you said. Appreciate the appreciation. But yes, let's get into stuff. Let's talk about everything that happened today before we chill a little bit. Hey Akshay, is Aswin from Kerala? I actually am. I don't know how you got that. WhatsApp channel is an amazing idea. Good job. Thanks, Vishwanath.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into it before we talk to you guys and talk about a lot of different things and the semi-final and different things. Let's talk about the summary. Yeah, let's get into the summary of things.
Cool. So I can start off with the scorecard. Obviously, India 249 for 9.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought it was par, slightly below par.
Slightly below par.
Slightly below par, but India doing a good job in the end, getting New Zealand 205 all-out standouts. Obviously, Shreyas with the bat. With the ball, I think all of the spinners did well. Varun Chakravarti obviously was the player of the match, which we'll also get to.
Yes.
But all in all, a good game for India to win, especially after the way we batted and from there to control the game in the middle overs. I thought that was some good
and
stuff.
especially after the break that the Indian team had and the fact that they're playing the semi-finals next. That's just the summary of what happened today. But let's start off with what went wrong.
Cool. So Ashwin and I had no idea who's going to do this segment. Looks like I'm going to be doing where it went wrong. Firstly, India's top order. It seemed like they were a little loose at the top. It felt like they were not completely compact in how they wanted to go about things. I mean, Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill came out in their usual attacking way, but something that stood out was Virat Kohli's approach. Right from the get-go, he wanted to put the pressure on the bowlers. He was actually batting fairly well. He was middling a lot of deliveries, but then Glenn Phillips pulls an absolute ripper. Unlucky, I would say, but also on another day, Kohli would have probably played that along the ground. So mixed feelings
It
there.
felt like Virat was forcing things.
Yeah.
Which is okay, I guess. Before the semi-finals, nothing to lose.
Maybe just wanting to try something new is what we can put it down to. That's one thing. Shami is the next thing. Mohammad Shami with the new ball, I thought was a little wayward.
Has been a little wayward
Has been a little
throughout.
wayward throughout the tournament, in fact. Yeah, so that's one thing.
2023 World Cup final.
Yeah, that's one thing to discuss. Shami is better off coming in first change. This, and considering the fact that Harshit Rana has also opened the bowling and Hardik Pandya doing it today, means that we could see in the semi-final, whichever seamer comes in bowling with Hardik Pandya with the new ball and then Shami coming in first change. I just think it's better for them to do that because Shami just seems more comfortable and also more effective and potent even with that slightly older ball. So that's another thing. Next is KL Rahul behind the stumps. I think there were at least 3 missed chances from KL. There's some poor keeping. Aswin's also made a video on this, in fact, where he's broken down keeping techniques. And KL was just all over the place. Even on comms, they were talking about his position, comparing it to Tom Latham. They didn't say whether he was good or bad, but clearly he was on the badder side today with things. He missed some easy stumpings, was very slow to move and all of that. So yeah, I think KL Rahul will really need to up his game because in a game like this here, okay, we still got a few chances and we could eventually go across the line. But in a semi-final or a final in a crunch situation, these chances are going to matter a lot. So that's one thing. And the last thing, again, poor fielding. It's a mix, right? India took some good catches in the outfield, like the Akshar Patel catch, which we'll get to. But there was a lot of sloppy ground fielding. I also don't blame the Indian fielders that much because there were a lot of areas around the square where there was uneven bounce. Having said that, you have to be able to put your body on the line and stop those easy runs. So yeah, that's what went wrong.
Let's talk about what went right, and a lot of things went right, especially starting off with the team selection. I want to say Vignesh in a pre-match said that Harshit Rana might get dropped for Varun Chakravarti, which I quickly dismissed. So I apologize for that because that's exactly what happened. Ravichandran Ashwin, in fact, yesterday in his YouTube video, talked about how this might be a potential change that they might make. And so, for obvious reasons, one Ashwin knows more than the other, so you take his word. So yes, that did happen. It did work around this time. What is interesting is, what are they going to do in the next test match? Next test match? The next match in the next semi-final. Because Varun Chakravarti gets 5 wickets, you can't possibly drop him. Do they play 4 spinners and only 2 seamers? Something we will talk about, but they did get the team selection spot on today because India happened to win the match, so good on them. The middle order and the lower middle order for the Indian team are scoring runs. Akshar Patel getting promoted up the order, batting at number 5. At this point, it seems like he's made that position his own.
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer, I don't know who said it, but you reminded me of it again. Shreyas Iyer against New Zealand has performed the last couple of times. Did that again today.
True.
I think something that Shreyas Iyer is not appreciated for a lot, and that is his temperament. And he was appreciated a lot today for that on comms, but I feel like us fans don't appreciate that about him. If you see Shreyas Iyer, he's naturally very attacking, but he also understands the situation quite well, and he plays that quite well. If India is under pressure, he will attack, he will take those risks, but he'll also make sure he's not consuming a lot of dot balls. And even if he is, he doesn't throw his wicket away. He tries to find those singles, even if it's a reverse sweep, which I thought was quite bizarre for a single.
Yeah.
But even if it's that, he's looking for those singles, and he's not letting himself sink in with those dot balls, which I think is very, very impressive with Shreyas Iyer. You might possibly get a video about him and him facing the short ball this Tuesday, so watch out for that. But Shreyas Iyer, Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya, it was a bit of a give and take with Hardik Pandya in the end, not taking those singles. I was just wondering if he gets out now, the amount of slack he'll get on social media, except the 49th over, he just turned it around.
Yeah.
Got a couple of sixes, got a couple of boundaries with Kyle Jamieson.
Yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, he got out in the last over. That's absolutely fine. He did his job before getting out. And so kudos to Hardik Pandya. It's just good to see batters getting runs before semi-finals. In the last couple of World Cups and the last couple of Champions Trophy, if you notice, it was our top order doing a lot of work and the middle and the lower middle order not getting a lot of time. Except this time around, all of our batters have scored a lot of runs. So that is good to see. Captaincy is something I do want to talk about. We have made a reel on Rohit Sharma's captaincy and appreciating the captaincy, and I want to do that again. In the first couple of overs, when the New Zealanders were batting, they were getting singles to third man. They were just dabbing the ball to third man, I want to say. Yeah. And Rohit Sharma cut that off the second they started doing that every single ball. He moved from being a slip fielder to a gully fielder, and so you had gully and a backward point and a third man. So every time they dabbed it, it was going straight to Rohit Sharma, so they couldn't take those singles. Then they wouldn't risk playing the ball more late because then they'll get a nick and all of that. And while setting attacking field to the spinners, Akshar Patel, before he got Kane Williamson out, he and Rohit Sharma discussed a field. It worked out. The next ball, Kane Williamson steps out. Akshar Patel gets him stumped. I made this reel. I've talked about this before, but Rohit Sharma, the ODI captain, would be ashamed of Rohit Sharma, the Test captain, and I'm not going to be. I'm not going to shy away from saying that. And of course, talking about Akshar Patel, talking about the spinners, Akshar, Kuldeep, Jadeja, and Varun Chakravarti, especially, did a fantastic job. They just did a fantastic job. We will talk about Varun Chakravarti more elaborately. But yeah, them as spinners just played the pitch quite well. Of course, the pitch did assist them, but as a spinner, you have to be able to use the pitch. And 4 of them did that. All of them did that. So good on them. That's me rambling a lot about what went right. Let's talk about critical moments.
Cool. So critical moments. First thing, Akshar Patel coming in at number 5. Ashwin's already touched upon this. I think at that point of the game, it made sense for Akshar Patel to come in at 5. In fact, now I think he's just going to come in at 5 most games. It's crucial also from the point of left-right combinations and that dynamism it brings and how it tires fielders around in the opposition itself. So that's one thing, and I've also spoken about this in depth earlier. Second thing, Akshar Patel's catch to get rid of Rachin Ravindra, I want to say, that was pretty crucial, because had he not taken that catch, Rachin Ravindra's had a good tournament. He's batted well against India as well in the past, and so he could have taken that game away pretty easily, especially because at that time Hardik was bowling with the new ball. He was bowling well, but he was also going for a few runs, so that would have helped Hardik's confidence as well. So that's the second thing. And then Kuldeep getting Daryl Mitchell again. Daryl Mitchell's a danger man. He scored runs against India. In fact, I think the last time he played, scored a century as well. So yeah, keeping all of that in mind, that too was a critical moment in that match, especially because Daryl Mitchell and Kane Williamson were putting up a partnership at that point, and it didn't look like they were being too troubled by the spinners. Lastly, Kane Williamson's wicket, something that Ashwin just spoke about. Akshar Patel beating him in the flight, and then KL Rahul getting one stumping. So yeah.
That's true. Let's talk about the player of the match, and that's Varun Chakravarti. Gets one game in the Champions Trophy, gets 5-wicket haul. I feel like he finds the game of cricket the easiest thing in the world right now, because every time he comes onto the field, he gets those 5 wickets. But what is important is to identify the learning curve, and this is something Praatibh and I talked about. In the first couple of overs, Varun Chakravarti, not first couple of overs, first over, he was bowling it ridiculously quick, and he realized the quicker one can just be one of the variations, because the slower he bowls, a lot more turn he's getting, and the New Zealanders were finding it very hard to pick him in to begin with. And so the fact that he could turn the ball because of the pitch, the fact that he could slow it down and use his quicker one as a variation, just worked for him. And we saw him getting a wicket of Sandner bowling the quicker one. We saw all the balls that turned for him. Yeah. And for Varun Chakravarti to learn that after the first couple of balls shows a couple of things, right? The first is how much he's learned in the last couple of years. He was dropped from the Indian team. He plays well in the IPL, gets back into the T20 squad, and comes to the ODI squad. Bowling in a T20 match versus an ODI match is completely different. For a spinner, it might be similar for a fast bowler, but a spinner almost needs to set batters up. And he was able to do that. That is also why he was very, very impressive today. Also why his selection should be something to talk about for the next game.
Yeah.
And so for him to get 5 wickets shouldn't be the talking point as much. Of course, it's great. He got a 5-wicket haul. It's like 100 for a batter. But it's the fact that how he got those 5 wickets, the way he was setting up batters, the way he was using his variations. It didn't seem like he was getting impatient even when he wasn't getting those wickets. And that is what is so important to see with spinners when you're looking at spinners when you're looking at a spinner and their ability to grow. And you saw that with Varun Chakravarti. Now let's talk about the next game. The next game is against Australia, and there's a lot of panic, right? There's a lot of panic because we're facing Australia again in the semi-finals, and what do we do? Because the last time we faced Australia in a knockout match, we lost, and that was a 2023 final.
Yeah.
And so, what are we going to do? I think on paper, India should be favorites, but motivation-wise, I wouldn't say India is favorites. I think the game is on balance because we know how Australia can just always bounce back when they're already behind the ball. We saw that in Ahmedabad, home ground for India, the largest stadium India in the finals, being unbeaten. Everything, India had everything
Going for them,
going for them, and Australia won it. So it's going to be going to be the same case in the semi-finals. The Australian fast bowlers have been impressive in a way. They've been a lot more impressive than a lot of people thought. And the spinners are getting wickets, and the Australian batters are getting those runs.
Yeah.
So for India to roll, it won't be a roll over match, but I don't see India losing the match, and this might come bite me on the backside. But we'll see. We'll have a pre-match anyway, so we'll talk about India Australia before the semi-finals. Now let's talk to you guys for a bit. Oh, that was a lot of talking. Shrikant, yeah, man, Pant would be better at 6. Right, I saw this question. So if Akshar, right, I'll say this and then I'll ask you the question.
Cool.
I think Akshar batting at number 5 objectively is okay because we have to adjust to the change. Akshar is scoring runs, so there's no reason for him to be put down the order. If they want a left-hander in the middle order, and if they think Akshar Patel is capable, we as fans need to adapt to the fact that Akshar Patel is capable and can bat. But the question is, if Akshar Patel is a regular number 5, why you wouldn't want KL at number 6? Then would you rather have Rishabh Pant at number 6, or would you rather have someone who can also hit big potentially? Because KL Rahul at number 5 has a strike rate of 90, and at number 6 you would want his strike rate to go higher.
Right.
And so would you continue playing KL Rahul? I mean, in the next match they will, but like generally.
Generally speaking, also because of how Rishabh Pant has played in white ball cricket, especially ODIs up until now, I don't think even Rishabh Pant fits into that middle order at the moment. Like I would rather have KL with an average of 48, 49 odd coming into pressure situations than Rishabh Pant, because KL has proven himself in these situations time and time again. It's not that KL is in particularly bad form or anything. He did get a small score today. He got a 40 odd in the last game. So it's not that he's out of form. Plus, if they would have permanently thought of Akshar as a number 5, then they might have automatically gotten Pant. So I think there's still that variability with that position of 5 and 6, which is why KL is still in the squad.
Right.
Having said that, that's the scene from a batting point of view. But from a keeping point of view, because of how KL's been keeping right now, I wonder if the Indian management might be tempted. Except it's a knockout game, you wouldn't want to change the squad right now. But moving forward, maybe. I
spoke about this in the video, like in the wicket keeping video that we made. But I don't know how to explain this. But like if you look at averages in terms of technique, right? There's no stat to actually put this down. But if you just look at average technique of a wicket keeper, and with that average technique, if you go to an international arena, that average goes down because the standard of wicket keeping in an international arena is much higher than the average wicket keeping skill.
True.
And KL Rahul is currently average. And even though in that video that we made, he gets a higher score because of other couple of reasons, there are few things that KL Rahul struggles with, which is also highlighted in the video, that was also highlighted today, that, like Praatibh said, in those key moments, matches cost you a lot. And you can't just be an average wicket keeper. And I feel like India will need to sort that out soon. I don't think they'll make a change in the semi-final, but after the Champions Trophy, they'll need to make a call. Either KL Rahul gets better, he raises his own standards, or they find a wicket keeper who can actually bat. Right. Erin, even though we deserve to win this cup, but it's a huge advantage for playing in the same ground, feeling guilty. Thoughts?
Sorry, I zoned out because I saw another comment that said you all forgot about KL's first World Cup game, which is not true. We're not criticizing KL's batting, we're criticizing his wicket-keeping skills. He's a far more superior batsman in white ball cricket than Pant any day.
True.
Cool.
And we spoke about this pre-match, Erin. I don't think there's a reason to feel guilty about it because the other cricketing boards did know that we were going to play in the same venue. It's only now that India are winning, and the way they're winning, they have something to crib about, which is always the case. And is it completely fair? Absolutely not. But can you expect the Indian players to travel to Pakistan? Is a whole other conversation. So for now, this is the only arrangement they could make. I mean, to expect UAE to use different grounds to host India matches would then mean UAE and Pakistan are hosting it. Then UAE becomes a co-host, which I don't think Pakistan would want.
Money.
So it's a lot of, it's like Praatibh said, it's a lot of money thing. Why do you think India had 2 games on a Sunday? So it's a lot of that. Anirudh, I actually think a fast bowling in power play looks way too fragile, especially Shami. Travis can easily exploit this,
Yeah.
which could make huge difference. A power play of 70, 80 runs would do the trick for Aussies. With Short being injured, there's a huge chance that Fraser McGurk comes in.
Oh, that might spell
And
disaster.
but he also averages in single digits in the
True.
ODIs. But it's also
But you
against
never know.
India.
Yeah.
Yeah, good lord. But yeah, what you said is really true. What
Yeah.
would you do in the power play for the next game? Would you keep the same side?
See, I feel like they definitely aren't going to play the same side. Like, I don't see them playing four spinners in a semi, especially if it's not on this pitch.
True.
So that's one thing to think
we
about
did
is the
talk about
pitch.
conditions,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That comes into play. And I mean, even at the toss, Rohit did say that Harshit is rested and
True.
not dropped.
True.
So the thing is, this Varun 5-wicket haul has made
then would you
selection
drop
very
Kuldeep?
crazy.
Then
You
have three
might see
finger
Kuldeep
spinners.
being dropped because he's been bowling really well. Don't get me wrong, but he's not been getting
Those
wickets in the middle. If Varun's giving you that, you will pick Varun because he's also being economical, and because Harshit Rana has been bowling well with the new ball,
True.
you will bring him back.
Oh yeah,
So
that's something to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone asked about conditions before. I don't know which pitch they played in today. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find out. But the pitch did get slower and slower
Yeah.
by the match. Like through the match, through the match, the pitch did get slower. I don't know if this was the pitch we played against Bangladesh or Pakistan. I'm hoping it's still Bangladesh because
Yeah.
the Pakistan pitch behaved quite well throughout the match.
True.
So I'd be shocked if it's the Pakistan pitch. But yeah, the pitch did get slower. It started assisting the spinners a lot more. Something that I do want to credit. They won't drop Kuldeep. That's insane. Yeah, it
seems
is
insane, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a Gambhir management.
Yeah, that's. I mean, playing four spinners, at least for me, was insane. But
yeah,
the
yeah.
Indian team did it.
Yeah.
Something I do want to talk about: how the New Zealand fast bowlers exploited the pitch quite well, exploited the conditions, and set fields for it. The second Salmon duel said that they need to bowl short balls, slower short balls, like pitch it,
Yeah, hit the deck.
hit the deck, slower balls.
Yeah,
To Jadeja, they did that. The next ball, Jadeja gets out. They did that to Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya was struggling. They did that to the Indian middle order with the fast bowlers, and they were struggling. And I think that's something to learn from. Not saying that we bowled terribly. I mean, we won the match. We took 10 wickets, but
true.
it's something just to keep an eye on. Abhishek, Jadeja out and Harshit in for Australia. I'll be surprised.
Jaddu out.
I mean, they'd want a deep batting. Like
No,
today,
yeah.
you'd want Jadeja and Hardik Pandya as partnership, for example.
And there's another thing I want you guys to think about is the fielding aspect of it, because with Varun Chakravarti coming into the squad, he's not that good a fielder. Let's face it. And if you're going to take Jaddu out as well, you're basically compromising some runs in the field in the hope that the person who's going to come in is going to get more wickets. So it's a lot about game of margins as well, like what combinations work not only with the ball or bat but also your field. Because let's be honest, Rohit Sharma in the field right now is
He's a
only
lab.
going to be in
He's not a liability.
Not a-
he just
yeah.
doesn't move as fast
As fast
he used
as-
to.
yeah.
Run behind the ball as
Yeah,
he used to.
True. And the thing is, Dubai is a big ground. It's by no stretch is it a small ground, and so you're going to have fielders who are going to run around a lot. And so you just want as many good fielders as possible.
True. Should Kohli continue? Oh, I lost the question. The aggressive batting style, like today in semis, or he should play his natural game? I think he should play his natural
Natural
game. I
game,
don't see
yeah.
a reason why he should change. Now the real question: chocolate or vanilla? I don't know what that's about. Do you know what that's about?
I have no idea. Whatever.
Add in gaming. Can the Indian batting lineup read and play Varun on this pitch? Oh, that is interesting. I think Shreyas Iyer, Rohit Sharma, Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya,
Can play.
KL Rahul. No, KL Rahul might struggle with it. I think these guys can play. I think the number
The
three
middle
and
order.
the number 3 and the number 6 might struggle. Elora. Dude, that's such a good name. Jaddu isn't going out. If India are behind in overs time, Jadeja can.
That is also another thing.
I don't know what the ice cream thing is.
Oh, chocolate or vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, but what's the context?
I don't know. Maybe just an ice cream question. Food. Ice cream is nice.
Travis in the semis, are we getting cooked? And KL took some great catches in. Alright,
2023.
let's talk about this. There's a difference between taking great catches against the fast bowlers and missing the small catches and having slow reaction time against spinners. I, as a fielder, would hope KL Rahul takes those catches because he is predominantly a fielder. And so if Jadeja was wearing those gloves, you would expect him to take it. A keeper is tested testing conditions. When you're keeping for fast bowlers in England, you're tested. Like the ball's swinging until you catch the ball.
Yeah.
It becomes tough to keep for a fast bowler in England, for example. In conditions like Dubai, it becomes a lot more critical to be a good keeper against the spinners because the smallest of margins matter. And when you look at replays, that's what bothers me a lot about KL Rahul's keeping. What usually would happen is the keeper would close his hands and miss time him trying to catch the ball. But when you look at replays of when KL Rahul's missing it, he's not close to trying to catch the ball. And that is what bothers me. I don't know if it's a technique thing. We'll have to look closely into that. I don't really know if it's a technique thing, or I can't possibly think that his reaction time is that slow for him not to be able to do it. But there is something up, and that's something to think about.
I think something that would also be interesting to look at, and you guys can probably also look at it, is the dismissals that Tom Latham got today. He took some really good catches off. In fact, he got KL Rahul's catch through an edge. And just the fact that how low he is and how slowly he's getting up to a spinner versus KL, who's already up by the time the ball is not even crossed the batter. That itself should tell you a bit.
A big fan of yours. Wrong time to start live because Aswin is also live. Yeah, but what can we do? I mean, I wouldn't blame you guys if you listen to Aswin nowadays. What is your opinion? Do you feel they should replace Shami with either Arshdeep or Harshit? I don't think so. I don't think
they're going to drop Shami.
Yeah.
He's still crucial in the middle overs, in the death to some extent. So yeah,
that is true. You know something? So we've had 1 second I have to do something necessary, but something that we did put on our WhatsApp channel is Mohammad Shami. In the recent times, he has bowled in the last 5 games. He's bowled a lot of overs between. All right, let's start this again. In the last 5 ODI matches, not including today that Shami's played, this year that is, he's bowled a lot of overs between 0 and 5 in an ODI match, which is essentially the new ball between 0 and 5. So he'll probably bowl 3 or 2 overs. He's only gotten a wicket once. And he has an economy of 5.56. Which means he's giving close to 6 runs with that new ball, and he's only gotten 1 wicket, I want to say in 13 overs. Which are not great numbers. Which is also something we talked about after the 2023 World Cup final. So I think they might bring in a seamer just for that, but I don't think they'll drop Shami. We're making default. Ashwin became the Terminator himself, terminate the chat trolls. Oh, is that I talk about me? Right. Hanging threads. Chakravarti is one of the best spinners in this generation. Too soon to tell. I mean, there's a long way to go. He'll be found out soon, and that's when spinners.
Plus, he is very likely not going to play Test cricket, so. Sorry to break your bubble. He might be a great white ball spinner. We'll know soon.
True. Shailesh, Shami is not in his prime form, but he would still play all the matches in this tournament. Do you think it's a prime form problem?
I think more than a form problem, it's a match time and a rhythm problem to some extent. But also just the fact that Shami is not someone who's consistently balled with the new ball.
True.
So, yeah. Guys, please avoid spamming. We will take your questions.
Varun Chakravarti have an edge against Australia because besides Maxwell, nobody played him that much. That's true. Varun Chakravarti comes in as that mystery man, right?
Yeah.
And I find him... I feel like that would be one reason to play him against Australia. And the fact that he took a 5-wicket haul.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he did drop a free hit delivery that then he kicked to the boundary. If you guys missed that. What do you think? He can't play Test cricket? No, he can't play Test cricket. It's just...
Where is he going to make a spot? He's not playing enough first-class cricket for Tamil Nadu or any for that matter. So, if he's not getting picked for the Ranji team, there's no way he's getting picked for the Indian Test team.
True.
So...
We'll take a last couple of questions before we end this. Adil, do you think Varun is the best mystery spinner in the world right now?
No. Not necessarily. I will say that in his current form, I'd rate him as one of the better white ball spinners at the moment, for sure. He's on top of his game. He knows when to use what, how to vary space, how to adjust his lines and lengths. That works for him, but still need some time to make that decision.
Yeah, the thing is, don't jump the gun because with spinners, like we were talking about, their ability to become from good to great is when they are found out. And what do they do after that? So give Varun Chakravarti a little bit of time, and then we'll see the amount of wickets he takes. Why don't you guys become a team analyst for an associate cricket team? If we could...
Is anyone hiring?
I mean, if someone's hiring, we wouldn't mind that at all. Akshar Patel MVP.
Honestly,
Yeah, honestly,
dude,
yeah,
Akshar
40
Patel,
odd runs to a couple of wickets.
bat, ball, field, everything. He's
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Last two questions. Ricky. All right, wait. Before I take those last two questions, let's do a couple of things. Like the stream if you haven't already. It just allows YouTube to push our live more. And the second thing is we have a WhatsApp channel which is in the description. So if you want to join our channel, you can do that. We'll give you live updates, behind the scenes stuff, sneak peeks of episodes coming out.
Yeah.
We'll do that. And if you guys haven't followed us on Instagram, please do that too. We'll appreciate that a lot.
True.
Let's take a couple of questions before we end this. If you wanted to drop a player, who would it be? Hanging Threads. Damn, ironic that the name is Hanging Threads. But yeah, if you had to drop a player.
I want to leave you with a cliffhanger, but I won't. Who do you drop?
Who would you drop?
Dude, in current form, if India want to go ahead and play that third fast bowler for the semi-final, I think there's a good chance Kuldeep might miss out.
That's just so
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's very sad, but it seems like the logical move, unfortunately.
Thoughts about Aussie toxic fans? Think about the Indian toxic fans. That's all I have to say. Yes, Shreyas, you played well. Thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for joining us. This has been a post-match of the last match of the group stage. We will see you, I think, in 36 hours. That is fourth. Yeah. We'll see you in 36 hours where India faces Australia in the first semi-finals at 1:30 p.m. in the pre-match. We will leave you guys just before the toss. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the team against Australia, especially because they have a new bowling and almost a new batting lineup.
True.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on a Sunday night. We will see you on Tuesday. So I don't know how many of you all will join us or be able to join us. Hopefully post-match.
Yeah, and I mean, join that WhatsApp group so you'll have all updates when we're going to go live, some behind the scenes. I see a comment on Glenn Phillips's catch. It was brilliant, to say the least.
Exceptional.
Even Kane Williamson's left-handed diving catch was awesome. But yeah, we'll leave you right there.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next time. Like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this with your friends if you think they will like it too. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.